All right, so you're about to start at Jaipur Rugs. Pretty exciting, huh?
It is, yeah.
They're known for amazing rugs, of course,
Yeah.
but also for a really unique company culture.
Absolutely. They call it the JR way.
And to help you get started, we're diving into one of their foundational values, which is self-leadership.
Okay.
We're going to build like a playbook for you,
Nice, nice.
full of insider tips, tricks, all that,
I like it.
to help you navigate the JR way.
Okay.
And at the heart of it all is this idea of the founder's mentality.
Yes. It's like cracking the code of a new language almost.
Founder's mentality. Sounds pretty intense. Does that mean everyone has to, like, become an entrepreneur?
Not exactly, no. Think of it more as a way of approaching your work, like with the same passion and ownership as if you were running the whole show.
Wow.
You know, the most successful companies out there have this in common, this culture where everyone acts like an owner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, taking initiative, taking responsibility for their piece of the puzzle.
So it's not just like doing your task. It's like you're thinking bigger. You're seeing the company as your own.
Yes.
You're finding ways to contribute.
Exactly. Now imagine you're at Jaipur Rugs and you're overhearing conversations. You might hear people saying things like strong cash focus or bias for action or customer advocacy.
Okay, wait, hold on. Those are great, like, little buzzwords almost.
Yeah.
But how do those play out? Like, strong cash focus, I get that businesses need to make money, but how does that actually translate to people, especially in a creative field like rug making?
Well, it's about understanding that resources are precious and everybody has to play a part in using them wisely. So think about it as being mindful and resourceful, not just with money, but with time, materials, even ideas. And a great example is the Manchaha initiative.
Manchaha,
Yeah.
the upcycled products from leftover yarn. So it's like trash to treasure, almost.
Exactly. So imagine piles of returned yarn just building up in a warehouse just because of slight inconsistencies in color.
Right.
And, you know, a traditional company might see that as a loss, a write-off.
Mm.
But at Jaipur Rugs, some employees saw an opportunity there.
Oh, nice.
They saw the potential in that yarn. They used their creative thinking, experimentation, and turned it into a whole new products line. It was actually a successful one. And that's strong cash focus in action, seeing the potential where others might only see waste.
Wow. Instead of waiting for instructions, they just took ownership, they got creative, and it was like a win for everybody.
Exactly, yeah.
If I were starting at JR, that story alone would make me feel like I can speak up and, like, share my ideas, you know?
Absolutely, and that sense of ownership even extends to the physical spaces at Jaipur Rugs.
Okay.
So think about the Sarana warehouse where they actually practice self-management. Employees manage their own schedules and their tasks and their work environment. It's a real symbol of the trust woven into the company.
Oh, I love that, woven into the company. It's like the rugs themselves.
Yeah.
A metaphor, you know?
Yeah.
It's not about following a pattern. It's about contributing your unique skills and your creativity to create something beautiful and lasting.
Yes, yes.
So besides the Manchaha products in this self-managed warehouse, are there any other, symbols or visual cues that kind of show this self-leadership philosophy? Like, what should our listener keep an eye out for?
Yeah, think of it as like a treasure hunt. You'll find these symbols everywhere. You might see some photos of artisans beautifully displayed, a reminder of whose lives are impacted by the work being done.
That's a good one.
Or a wall that's dedicated to showcasing innovative solutions that employees came up with.
Oh, that's cool.
Even the layout of a workspace designed for, open communication and collaboration. It's about looking beyond the surface and recognizing the meaning in the environment.
So it's not just like a grand gesture. It's about the little details.
Exactly.
Those little things that reveal the company's values.
But, self-leadership isn't just symbols and language. It's about, putting those values into practice, making them a part of your daily routine.
Okay, so let's get practical. What are some rituals or habits somebody new to Jaipur Rugs could adopt to embody this self-leadership mindset?
Well, there's this fascinating ritual that's mentioned in our sources. It's called weaver's exposure visits. So imagine you're a weaver in a rural village creating these intricate rugs with incredible skill and dedication.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get lost in the technical aspects of your craft.
You're focused on the knotting and the patterns, the colors, but not so much on, like, who will be enjoying that rug in the end.
Exactly. So these exposure visits take weavers to the showrooms, to design studios, to the homes of customers who have purchased Jaipur rugs.
Really?
And they get to see firsthand how their creations are being used, how they bring beauty and warmth to people's lives.
Yeah. So it's not just about making a rug.
Right.
It's about understanding the impact it has on somebody's life. I can see how that would make you feel proud. Like it would make you feel more responsible.
Absolutely. It fuels that founder's mentality we talked
Yeah,
about.
I love that.
Another good example is the Harmony Project. This initiative lets artisans create these really complex museum-quality pieces. They push their creative boundaries, and they get to showcase their skills to the world.
Wow.
And, participating in that project goes way beyond following instructions. It's
Yeah.
about taking ownership of your craft,
Yeah.
contributing to something truly extraordinary.
These rituals sound like they're opportunities for weavers to step outside of their comfort zones, to
Yeah.
learn, to grow, to contribute their talents in meaningful ways.
Exactly.
I can see how those experiences would give you a sense of ownership.
Yeah, it's about becoming part of something bigger than yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about ceremonies. Most companies, they love a good ceremony, to celebrate achievements and reinforce values. But I'm not seeing anything in our sources about any ceremonies for self-leadership at Jaipur Rugs. What are your thoughts?
That's an interesting observation.
Yeah.
Our sources don't mention anything specifically, but maybe we can draw inspiration from other companies that have integrated celebrations into their cultures. Think about the Oberoi story, a renowned hotel chain known for, incredible customer service.
Okay, tell me more about that. I'm curious.
Every night at the Oberoi hotels, the staff reviews guest preferences. They note down everything from the room temperature that they prefer to the type of music they enjoy.
Wow.
This dedication to personalization, it's more than a task. It's a celebrated ritual that reinforces their core value of exceeding customer expectations.
So it's not a formal ceremony. There's no speeches, no awards.
Right.
But it's a consistent practice that keeps those values at the forefront.
Exactly. Now imagine translating that concept to Jaipur Rugs, where self-leadership is so important. It might not be a huge event, but maybe a monthly gathering where employees from different departments share stories about how they demonstrated self-leadership, or took initiative, or solved a problem in a really innovative way.
Oh, I love that. It's a way to acknowledge those who are embodying that founder's mentality. It's a chance to learn from each other, see how self-leadership is playing out in different areas.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling like it's top down, it's like a living, breathing part of the culture.
Exactly. And that's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive.
Perfect.
We've explored the language, the symbols, and the rituals that embody self-leadership at Jaipur Rugs. Now let's delve into how this founder's mentality actually translates into the company's mission and strategies, how this way of thinking shapes their approach to growth, expansion, even competition. It's fascinating how this founder's mentality we've been talking about isn't just some nice philosophy at Jaipur Rugs.
Right.
It's really tied into their business strategies.
Okay.
It shapes how they view everything from expansion to even competition.
I'm ready to hear more about that. We talked about strong cash focus
Yes.
earlier.
Yes.
But how does that work in a company known for social impact and their commitment to artisan welfare?
It is a balance for sure.
Yeah.
But Jaipur Rugs shows that you can be financially successful and still stay true to your values.
That's great.
And one way they do this is through what they call frontline obsession.
Frontline obsession.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm picturing like an army,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing it's a little different here.
It is a little different, yeah.
No.
It's about putting the customer at the center of everything you do.
Okay.
It's about understanding their needs, deeply understanding their needs and anticipating their desires and going above and beyond to create a really great experience.
So it's not just about selling a rug.
Right.
It's about creating a connection with that customer.
Exactly.
Understanding their story and helping them find the right piece for them.
Exactly. And this frontline obsession, it's fueled by something they call relentless experimentation.
Okay.
So Jaipur Rugs encourages its employees to, try new things,
Okay.
to innovate, to constantly look for ways to improve the customer experience.
I like that.
Think back to those weavers' exposure visits we talked about.
Yes.
Those visits aren't just about showing the weavers how the rugs are used. They're also about getting feedback directly from the customer.
Oh, that's so smart. So it's like a constant feedback loop,
Yes.
with insights from the customer shaping future design.
Exactly. Yeah.
But experimentation, that means that there's a chance of failure.
Right.
How does Jaipur Rugs handle that?
That's where that founder's mentality really shines through.
Okay.
A culture of self-leadership, it sees failure as a chance to learn. It's about taking risks, learning from those mistakes, and using those to drive innovation. Remember, the most successful entrepreneurs are often the ones who have learned the most from failing.
That's a good point, yeah.
It is, yeah.
It's okay to take risks and try things and not be afraid to mess up, as
Yeah.
long as you're learning.
As long as you're learning, exactly.
Yeah.
And this actually brings us to another key aspect of JR's mission,
Okay.
which is insurgency.
Insurgency. That's a big word.
Yeah.
Are we talking about a revolution?
Not exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But they are challenging the way things are normally done.
Okay. I like that.
So insurgency at Jaipur Rugs means disrupting traditional business models and creating a new path, a new way of doing things that benefits everyone, from the artisans to the customers.
Okay, so give me an example.
Okay.
How are they disrupting, like, the rug industry?
Think about how rugs are normally made and sold.
Yeah.
There's often a lot of middlemen, complicated supply chains,
Right.
and a real lack of transparency.
Yeah, it can be a very murky world.
It can be. Jaipur Rugs is changing that model, though. They work directly with the artisans in rural communities, and this ensures fair wages, ethical practices, and a direct connection between the people making them and the people buying them.
So it's like they're cutting out the middleman and letting the artisans control their own livelihoods.
Exactly.
It's not just a business transaction.
Right.
It's a real partnership.
It is. It's built on respect, fairness, and shared success.
I love that. But I feel like there's more to this insurgency.
There is, yeah.
What else can you tell us?
Well, Jaipur Rugs has identified 3 specific elements that drive this insurgent mission.
Okay.
They are bold mission, spikiness, and limitless horizon.
All right, let's take those one by one.
Okay.
Starting with bold mission. What is so bold about it?
Their mission statement itself is really powerful.
Okay.
It's about creating high-quality, hand-knotted rugs, empowering those who are often overlooked, and bringing prosperity to those artisans.
So it's about more than profit.
Yes.
It's about making a real difference. It's a mission with heart.
Mm.
But I'm guessing it's not easy to balance those social goals with also, running a business.
It does take commitment
Yeah.
and a willingness to challenge how businesses normally think.
Okay.
But Jaipur Rugs has shown that it's possible to do well by doing good.
They have.
They have.
It's like they're saying, we're not just making rugs, we're changing lives.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so that's bold mission.
Yes, there is, yeah.
What about spikiness?
Okay, so spikiness.
Now I'm imagining a cactus.
You're getting closer?
Right.
Spikiness is about being really, really good at the things that are important to your customer.
Oh.
And being okay with being, just average at things that are less important.
So identify your strengths.
Yes.
Focus your energy.
Exactly.
Don't try to be everything to everybody.
Exactly.
Be the best at what you do well.
Yes, and this laser focus allows Jaipur Rugs to deliver on that quality and craftsmanship in their rugs,
Yeah.
while also staying true to that mission of empowering artisans
Right.
and having a positive social impact.
It's about being strategic
Yeah.
and saying no to things that don't fit with your values.
Exactly. And that brings us to limitless horizon.
Limitless horizon. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds vast.
It is.
Tell me more.
So companies with this limitless horizon have a drive to grow, to
Yeah.
innovate, to
Yeah.
expand their impact.
So they never settle.
They never settle for the way things are.
Okay.
They're always looking for new challenges and opportunities.
It's all about that growth mindset.
It is.
Always more to learn.
Exactly.
Always more to achieve.
And this is so clear in everything Jaipur Rugs does.
Yeah.
From their, global expansion to their constant experimentation with new designs, new materials, new production techniques. They're always trying to reach new heights and make a bigger impact.
This is so inspiring. It feels like we've uncovered the secret behind Jaipur Rugs' success.
It's a really powerful mix of purpose and profit, tradition and innovation.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it seems to attract really talented people who want to make a difference.
It does.
It's obvious that founder's mentality isn't just a word at Jaipur Rugs.
Yeah.
It's behind everything they do, their culture and their success.
Yes.
But I want to know how this affects the day-to-day experiences of the people who work there.
Well, in our next segment, we'll dive into the real stories of self-leadership in action.
Okay.
We'll see how employees use this mindset to overcome challenges and create opportunities.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be great.
So we talked about the founder's mentality at Jaipur Rugs and how it affects their mission and strategies. But I wonder how this actually works, day to day. What are some stories that bring this JR way to life?
Well, the inspiring thing is self-leadership isn't just for, executives and managers at JR.
Sure.
It's part of everyone's experience, from the weavers in the villages to the designers in the cities. Think about that Manchaha initiative. It
Right.
wasn't some big decision from the top to turn that leftover yarn into a whole product line.
Right.
It was a group of women in the warehouse. They saw what they could do. And with a bias for action, they just went for it, They experimented.
That's really cool. So their self-leadership solved a problem for the company and also created this beautiful new product line.
Yes,
Now,
exactly.
what I like is it wasn't about just following orders. They took ownership and created something new.
Yes. And this bias for action, it's not just for problem solving.
Huh.
It's about personal growth, too. Remember those weavers' exposure visits we talked about?
I do, yes.
For a lot of these weavers, it's the first time they've ever traveled outside their villages.
Wow.
It's their first time seeing design and commerce on a larger scale.
It's like a whole new world opening up for them, giving them a new way of looking at things.
Exactly. And it's really empowering for them. And that empowerment, it spreads. A lot of those weavers, they go back home.
Yeah.
And they share what they learned with their communities. They become leaders themselves.
I love that.
Yeah.
So like this self-leadership is transforming things, not just for the person, but for their whole community.
Exactly. It's like a ripple effect.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that to have that empowerment, you need a culture of trust and openness.
Yeah. You're right. Jaipur Rugs encourages open communication, feedback, collaboration. It's an environment where everyone feels okay sharing their ideas and taking risks and learning from each other.
So you feel like your voice is heard.
Yes.
Like you can contribute and your ideas matter.
Exactly.
It's not about fitting in.
No.
It's about thinking differently and being yourself at work.
Exactly. And that feeling of belonging, it's strengthened even more by how Jaipur Rugs celebrates success. Big and small wins.
Yes, and we were talking about ceremonies.
Yes.
And it seems like even though there aren't big company-wide events for self-leadership,
Right.
the recognition happens in all these little ways.
It does, yeah.
Like a supervisor acknowledging an employee's idea,
Yes.
or a team leader celebrating a project that someone took the lead on.
Those small moments of recognition, they really reinforce the values.
They do.
And they create a culture where self-leadership is just how things are done.
It's like built in.
It is, yeah.
So for our listener who's about to start at Jaipur Rugs, what's the one thing they should remember to help them really embrace this JR way and thrive there?
Remember that founder's mentality isn't just an idea. It's how things work at Jaipur Rugs.
Okay.
Embrace it. Don't be afraid to take charge, share your thoughts, take ownership, and make your mark there.
I love that.
Your contributions will be appreciated.
I think that's a great way to wrap things up.
It is, yeah.
Thanks for being here with us, diving into Jaipur Rugs and the JR way.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listener, all the best on your new journey at JR. Take on those challenges, celebrate your successes, and keep learning.
Yes.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.